So this popped off last night, and listen, at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to get JJ Watt, okay? I'll start this video off right away by saying this. JJ Watt will not be a Bengal next year. He won't be. The reason why I say this is because JJ Watt retired from the NFL because a doctor told him he might die if he ever gets hit in the NFL again, because he had a heart condition where he could go in cardiac arrest if he takes another hit. That's why he retired. It's been 5 years since he retired. He did not want to walk away from the NFL. He wanted to keep playing, but he couldn't for his own life. So this concept that this is spinning of, hey, he might end up coming back and playing for the Bengals next year. Number one, we're not guaranteed to have a great defense next year. We're not. I think we're going to be a lot better than we were this year. 1,000% yes. But we're not going to be the best defense out there. We're just simply not going to be. We're going to struggle a little, and it's okay, because we're going to have a new defensive coordinator. We're going to have a lot of new defensive guys, and we're probably going to have a lot of young rookies. So we're just going to have to do our best with what we're given. But again, it's not like that's going to be automatically the best ever by adding JJ Watt. He's 35 years old, hasn't played in 5 years, and has a heart condition. Like, there's not much more you could take away from that he would come out of retirement, risk dying, just to play for a team that he has really no connection with. Now, here's the thing. By the way, this is his, he owns a club. He actually posted this on Twitter. He said, this is starting to become a little bit of a concern. Quick one, mate. Fancy coming out of retirement for the Bengals next season. You don't allow the goal the rest of the season, and it's done, right? So that's the whole point. You don't allow a goal. It's his club that he owns. He owns a soccer club, and yeah. But, here's the thing. He could join the Bengals as a coach. We fired our defensive line coach this offseason. We canned him. And can you imagine if we could get JJ Watt as a coach? Now, keep in mind, this idea, this concept we're talking about on the screen here is him coming back as a player and playing for at least 1 year. Doesn't mean as a coach. But I would be really excited about the concept of him coming back and being a coach for us. I could not imagine a better option at the defensive line coach position than someone like JJ Watt. He knows what he's doing. He can help develop and, mold some of these guys that we draft. Obviously, hopefully could help out Myles Murphy, could help out Cam Sample, could help out Joseph Asai if we bring these guys back. And again, whoever we draft in the first round could help them out. Now, I will say there is a situation where just because a player is a Hall of Fame player and they're amazing doesn't mean they can coach. That's another concept that is also you got to look at. Just because a player is like, oh, this guy's a Hall of Famer, yeah, it doesn't mean that he'll be a good coach. I like to think that JJ Watt would be a great coach. I like to think that in my head, and I think a lot of people would assume he would be a good coach. So, sure. If he wants to come back as a coach, 100% I am all for it. But coming back as a player, he's not going to. There's no way he's going to play for us next year. But as a coach, sure, why not? I have no issue with him being a coach. I think he could be a really great coach for us, and I am very confident he could be a very successful coach for us. And if he can get our defensive line getting going and better, we get a better linebacker coach as well, get a really good defense coordinator in Al Golden, couple key free agents, couple draft picks hit, and we're looking like the best team in football. And I will say, though, JJ would have to stay probably more than one season if he become a coach or a defensive line coach, I would want him to be there for at least 3 or 4 years, because you're really going to have to develop some of these guys, and it's going to take more than a year to develop some of these players. But I think he can be pretty good. Again, I just don't know how he is as a coach. I really don't. And I don't know what his credentials are as a coach. Now, knowing who we're going to probably select as a defensive line coach, he probably will be the best option in the end. So, sure, bring him out of retirement, let him become our defensive line coach, and help us out. But again, I don't think that's going to be anything more than just a defensive line coach. I'm not expecting him to come out of retirement and become the defensive player of the year for our defense. It's just not going to happen. But I don't know. This was talked about last night as the Lions decided to absolutely get crushed by the Commanders. The sad part about the playoffs, and I ended this video with this, the sad thing about the playoffs is we could have easily won the Super Bowl this year. If you look at the games, the Chiefs do not look like a good team. They're not a good team. We could have beat the Bills. We could have beat the Chiefs. And we would have been in the AFC Championship game right now, getting ready for next week. And it's so frustrating that I don't know if anyone would have beaten us. I really don't think anyone on this playoff picture here would have beaten us. I don't think the Commanders would have beaten us. The Lions, obviously, they got knocked out. I don't think the Rams or the Eagles could beat us. I don't think the Ravens could beat us because we should have beat them twice. But even then, it's not guaranteed we would have played them, right? Because the Bills, well, actually, no, we would have played the Bills. The Texans would have played them. And maybe the Texans would have beat them. I don't think it would have, but anything's possible. I think we could have won the Super Bowl. And as I'm going through these playoffs and I'm streaming all these games, I've been streaming every single game so far, it pisses me off more and more because you realize how realistic it was for us for us to be able to win the Super Bowl. We could have done it. And it pisses me off every single time I think about it. Because I'm like, it was right there. It was right there for us. And we just did not get it done. So, it is what it is, you know. You can't hope on what happened. What happened. You just gotta move on and, you know, whatever. But man, that's freaking annoying. Like, and as the playoffs go more and more, it's like these games are so winnable, bro. They're so winnable. Even with our piss poor defense, which actually looked a lot better the ending part of the season, honestly. But still, just annoying. Peace.